everyone, it's Fiona here, and today I'm sharing with you 4 stretches you can do for your lower limbs. I've chosen the word asanas here, and reminding us that this is a stance. These are not stretches, these are not yoga poses. This is about exploring the way that we use our body. And we're going to cover 4 areas: the feet, the back of the lower leg into those calf muscles, and then the whole hamstring, and we're going to finish looking at the iliacus. For this practice, you'll need a wall, a mat, a block, and a massage ball. Let's begin with the feet. First of all, notice your feet on the mat as you're standing. Notice those 3 places: the toes, the ball of the feet, and the heels. Move your weight up and down the length of your feet. And now try moving the weight from the left foot to the right foot. Maybe even go in circles. And then lift up your toes and spread them wide and place them down comfortably on the mat, all spread out. Feel your feet and notice the arch of your feet. A miracle of engineering supporting your body weight on this arch. Just connect your mind to your feet. Notice how the weight is distributed. Breathe. And then you can begin warming up your feet with the massage ball. This means placing the ball underneath one of your feet and rolling the ball with your foot. You might like to roll the ball of your foot on the massage ball, or roll up and down the length of the foot, or anything else that feels right to you. Swap sides when you feel ready, meaning pause the video now if you want to stay on your first foot and keep going. Take your own time. On this second foot, same thing. Roll the ball with your foot, warming up all of those bones, ligaments, tendons, muscles, the tissue in your feet, drawing blood flow, lymph. Just think about how many bones we actually have in the feet, which means we have lots of ligaments connecting bones to bones and lots of tendons connecting muscles to bones. And by giving the feet a massage here, we're warming up all of those. And just finish by rocking up and down, lifting your ankles, warming up your ankles for our next activity. Moving on to the calves, the lower part of the lower leg. We can begin by placing the block on the mat and the ball of our foot onto the corner of that block while keeping your heel on the floor. Stand up straight, breathe, connect to that stretch at the back of the lower leg, and if you wish, you can move the other leg forward to give you leverage to increase the stretch at the back of the lower leg. You can swap sides. Remember the ball of the foot and onto the block, corner of the block, and the heel still on the floor. Notice the stretch at the back of your lower leg, and if you wish, you can move that other leg forward to give you leverage at the back of the lower leg. Swap as often as you wish, These muscles, the gastrocnemius, the soleus, and all of the little muscles that move the ankle joint, they are chronically short because we are sitting down, we're wearing high heels. This is a nice stretch out the back and gives us more play or more possibilities of what we can do with that ankle joint. It creates mobility in that ankle joint. As you're doing the stretch, notice what's happening with your whole body. This is asana. It's not just a stretch. What's happening with your pelvis? You might like to untuck and tuck your pelvis. See if you can feel that neutral. Drop your rib cage. Drop your jaw and open your throat. Let's turn now to the hamstrings. So mindfully move yourself down onto your mat and begin by placing your backside, your butt, up against the wall. Lying on your side, shimmy right up to the corner of that wall, lying on the side, and then rotate the whole body so legs go up the wall and you find yourself with your back flat on the mat. And just notice the body. Breathe. Whatever state the legs are in is absolutely fine. They may not be straight up the wall. They might still be quite bent. And that's okay. We spend a lot of time with the legs in a seated position, so they're quite short along the back of the leg. And that is why this is a stance and not an asana. We're teaching the body how to be again. We're looking to give it some time to straighten out the back of the leg. Keep your legs straight up the wall there. Breathing, noticing, just beginning to warm up the hamstrings. You can think about how your back is lying on the floor. You might like to loosen your neck. Feel some relaxation and openness through the pelvis and belly with each out-breath, relaxing more down into the floor. How much can you release and let go of in your back? The floor is here to support you. You want to feel that your rib cage is connecting with the mat below your bra strap, so that your lower rib cage is not being pulled and tilted up by tight psoas muscles. Each breath relaxing and dropping that rib cage, the front of the rib cage dropping forward towards the belly button. And if you feel that you can be mindful and you want to, on an in-breath, you can lift up your head using the back of your hands. On an in-breath, lift up the head and the shoulders coming up, just helping that rib cage drop a little to the front, pulling that psoas to release, returning your spine and head, and feeling the whole rib cage dropping forward a little, opening through the throat and giving your jaw a 90-degree relationship with your neck. Breathing, feeling everything opening and relaxing. Imagine your eyes are looking straight up to the ceiling, not up behind your head as we are when we're on the computer. Breathing. You might feel that your hamstrings have begun to soften a little. And if you're lying here, if you want to, you can open through the chest by putting your arms in a cactus position, opening through the pectoral muscles, the pec major, the pec minor. You can keep your arms like this for the whole session if you wish. Now, as you feel that your hamstrings are beginning to get some juice, let's explore what you can do with your legs up the wall. You might bring both legs together and notice if the feet prefer to rock in or rock out. And you might like to rotate your own femur, that large leg bone, rolling it in or out. You could also take your legs apart into a V shape and feel what's happening to the sides of your legs and the back of the legs as you relax here with your legs in a V shape, legs up the wall. Breathe. Flex the feet if you wish. Then returning the legs to the center. Let's bend the knees, keep the feet on the wall, and bring the knees towards the chest. You can even hug your knees if you want to, because when we're doing this, we are completely releasing the psoas. It is a hip flexor, and our hips are now as flexed as they can get. So you're softening that psoas, releasing once again through the back of the rib cage. And if you feel that you want to, and you can do it in a mindful way, on the in-breath, use the hands to lift up the head and the shoulders, wriggle a little, ease that rib cage just a bit further away from the psoas. Hug the knees to the chest, use the breath to relax, release. You can think of that psoas as two big, thick, strong snakes right on the front of the lumbar spine. That is on the inside, near the organs, supporting the lumbar spine, but getting overly tight and tense as we sit all day long. Here you go. Breathe, relax, flatten out those psoas, allow them to go plump and floppy. Now, we could straighten one leg up the wall and keep one leg bent to the chest, and that'll give us information about this particular straight leg. Does it like to roll in or roll out? Whatever it prefers to do, just tease it a little bit to go the other direction. Breathe, stretch, creating length through the back of the lower leg, the back of the upper leg, the back of the body. Swap legs if you feel ready. Same thing, listen. Is this leg different? Which way does it like to roll, in or out? And just tease it by rolling the other way gently, creating length in new ways for this leg. Breathe. Relax. Each breath doing less, allowing gravity to do everything. Now, staying with that second leg extended, take the first leg, place the ankle underneath the knee of the extended leg, creating a number 4 position. And then take that extended leg and gently bend the knee towards the chest somewhat. Listen to your own body. Feel that stretch down into the gluteals, the piriformis, opening up the back of the hip. Enjoy. Breathe. And when you feel ready, returning the straight leg to the wall and the bent leg also to the wall, both legs straight up the wall. Then taking that leg that has been straight, bend the knee, rotate it outwards, ankle on top of the other knee, And then take that straight leg up the wall and gently bring it towards the chest, creating a stretch in those piriformis and femur rotators, plus in the gluteals as well. Notice, does this feel different than the other side? Use your attention to be with the body. Breathe. Listen. No straining, just interest. Then you can return both legs to straight up the wall. Notice what's happening with each leg. Feel if the whole back of the leg is feeling a little longer. Then we can begin some play here with our legs up the wall. We can rotate from one side to the other side. So turning the whole femur bone, say to the left, the feet going to the left, or turning the whole femur to the right, both feet going to the right, legs straight up the wall. We can bend the knees, feet on the floor, and do the same thing. Rock the knees slightly left as if they're going towards the wall. Rock them right as if they're going to the wall. Feel those differences. With the knees bent, feet on the wall, we can open both knees into a butterfly position. The outside of the side of the feet touching the wall. Or you can reverse that. Take your feet away from each other, turn the knees towards each other, and internally rotating the femur bone. Just be interested. Keep breathing. Listen to what's happening in your hips. Breathe. Then return the legs to straight up the wall. Check in with the whole body. And then you might like to finish by flexing the feet. The heels going towards the ceiling, the toes coming towards the body. Feeling that stretch all the way through the backs of the legs. Then when you feel ready, bring the knees to the chest, hugging the knees to the body, supporting that lumbar spine. As we roll gently over to one side, let the body lead you. Lie on the side. Notice how your body feels. Then when you feel ready, push up with your hands into a cat-cow position, ready for our next stretch. Now we're going to turn our attention to the iliacus, which is at the front of the hips in that inguinal ligament space, the inside of the hip bone. And as you're here in cat-cow, you notice that it's joining the inside of the leg to the inside of the hip. So gently taking yourself down to lying on the belly. I'm turning around for the video, but just stay as you are. And when you get to lying on your belly, notice your hips on the mat. Those ASIS sticking out bits of the front of the hips, are they hitting the mat evenly? Just notice. Then to begin this stretch, take one leg, bend the knee slightly and open it out to the side. We're talking about 30 to 45 degrees, not 90, not 120, about 45 degrees or less, because we really want to open up the space inside the front of the pelvis. You can imagine that gravity is pushing the back of the hip down towards flat. And as you see me do that, you might see my foot go up in the air because the tightness of the iliacus at the moment is not allowing that hip to drop. So with this exercise, we're imagining gravity pushing that hip down to the floor. You can experiment with moving your lower leg, your foot, see if that creates openness, space, interest. Mostly just keep breathing. With each breath, allow the front of the pelvis to open more and more. If you wish, you can clench the buttock at the back of this hip and then release it. And clench and release. And clench and release. Those muscles have a reciprocal arrangement, the front and the back of the hip. So by tightening the back of the hip, we can stretch out the front just a little and then return. Each out breath, more space through the front of the hip. Relax. Let go. Do nothing. Breathe. Experiment with moving your leg if you wish, the lower leg rotating. And then when you feel ready, return the hip and the leg to flat. Notice that ASIS, any space. And then start on the other side, taking the leg, slightly bending the knee, about 30 degrees. Turning it out and away from the body as we breathe into the front of the pelvis. Each out breath, we are doing less. The hip is dropping as gravity pushes the hip towards the floor. If you're motivated and you want to, you can clench the back of your buttocks and release. Clench the back of your buttocks and release. Clench and release as you dance between the front and the back of the hip joint. Each out breath releasing more, doing less, resisting less. Then when you feel ready, you can draw the leg back to lying straight and notice those two hip bones. How are they hitting the floor? Does there feel like there's more space? Just take a moment here on the belly to enjoy that space and commit to being looser in the hips. Then when you feel ready, you can mindfully push up, coming into a seated position, and then pushing all the way up to standing, noticing the body and the lower limbs, and making that commitment to be connected to these legs and enjoy the experience of your legs as you walk around your daily life, enjoying the asanas and the stance of these open and flowing limbs. Namaste.